Today I want to talk about this little Wabi Kusa inspired setup, where we grow plants in their immersed state. All of the plants are fully aquatic plants. However, I lean towards those species that are thought to be a little bit more demanding in order to see if I could grow something in immersed state that might be difficult to grow in my low-tech tanks. So for example, some of the plants you see here are the Pink Flamingo, the Anubias Snow White, and Glossostigma, all of which are said to require highlights, as well as some Ludwigia arcuata and Microcarpaea minima. Okay guys, just got back from Petco and I picked up the supplies I need for the Wabi Kusa. And here, let's see what we have. So as far as the substrate, I got some fluval stratum, just an 8-pound bag. And I'm also using a little bit of Miracle Grow that I had lying around. Now the fluval stratum I think will go well with the Miracle Grow because the Miracle Grow it's 100% organic, it's just peat moss and some wood chips and things. And the fluval stratum will provide some minerals. It has a large grain size for some aeration, although I know it does break down. And I think that they'll kind of complement each other well. Now to hold the substrate kind of in place and to also help water wick up from the pool to the upper parts, I got some of this sphagnum moss. Yeah, so we'll try to put some sphagnum moss in our plant. Yeah, because it's not a traditional Wabi Kusa. I'm gonna try to do it in this pot I found here. I forget what kind of plant this pot's for. It's for terrestrial plants, of course, but the pot's nice because it has some holes in it, and it's very, very cheap. This pot was just $2 at Lowe's. And for the pool, I'm gonna have this bowl. This bowl I found at Target. And yeah, I liked it because it was nice and it's taller than the pot, so I have the option to make the water level go above, which might be useful. We'll see how it plays out. But I actually also found some nice ones, really, really pretty ones at Petco. This one is plastic actually, even though it looks kind of nice, but yeah, it's just plastic. And finally, for the plants, this one is Cryptocoryne Flamingo. Let's see. It's pretty nice looking. It's already got some pinks and purples in there. Hopefully it'll grow well immersed. Here's a little bit of Anubias Snow White. Yeah, so I intentionally kind of picked plants that might be a little bit more difficult to grow, might be a little tricky. Although this one here, they consider it easy care. Anubias variegated, they call it. Yeah, lots of spelling errors. I don't know if I should be worried about that. Variegated succulents, if the leaves are all white, they usually don't grow. But I've heard that this one actually does grow. And you can see there's like a little bit of tinges of green, so hope that there's some chlorophyll. And I've heard that this one grows slowly and kind of stays small and compact, so that might be good for our Wabi Kusa. We're going to have a huge density of planting. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to use it, if I'm going to try to just put it in the substrate or use it more like an epiphyte somehow. I have no hardscape, by the way. This one's Glosso. See, nice little Glosso leaves. I thought this one's pretty popular for Wabi Kusa as well, as a foreground type plant. I hope it stays kind of compact and small like that. And then finally I got, I got this Ludwigia arcuata. Now this Ludwigia, I think so usually Wabi Kusa is based on stem plants, and I thought this Ludwigia is a nice stem plant because growing immersed, Ludwigia usually grows more horizontally. So my idea is to try to have this spill out the sides of the planter, maybe cover it up, make it look a little bit more natural, and also just give me some more vertical space that can be used by the crypts. And here I found a nice pack of plants. This is actually really interesting because if you've been to Petco and seen their tissue culture, they sell these plant packs, and they actually try to do a pretty good job getting you different kinds. You can see here's the different options. Yeah, but these plant packs are kind of like a dream for Wabi Kusa, right? Because they give you a small amount of these plants, of each one, a lot of varieties, and yeah, you can just try to experiment, have some fun with it. And yeah, it's not too expensive either. And I think that this one down here is Anubias, and this one might be a type of Boos. I think they called it Boos Bukit Betang, which I looked up and couldn't find really any references to it. So this one's Microcarpaea minima, which is growing immersed. It grows nice and tall, so I might actually use this in the background. It has kind of fine leaves, but it's pretty nice. And this one is another crypt undulata red, which is a pretty PetSmart also sells that one. Yeah, so those are the plants I'm using, and let's try to get started. Here I'm soaking the sphagnum moss, which I'm going to use to line the container. This is important for this pot because it has these 3 holes in the side, and I'm worried that the soil and the fluvial stratum will leak out if nothing's there to stop it. And here I'm adding some Miracle-Gro that's been soaking for a little bit in water, together with a little bit of the fluvial stratum, and I'm going to cap it off with more fluvial stratum, just so that there's not like these little wood chips floating around when I fill it with water. As usual, I prepare the tissue culture plants by taking them out of their cups and rinsing the gel off and putting them on this little holding tray before we get started. This pot holds 4 different plants actually, so you can see that the tissue culture is a pretty good deal. For $10 you get 4 plants. And actually I think this is one of the more expensive plants because in the other crypt pot there was like 10 of them. So I think that's the way that they make price for certain more expensive plants. They just put fewer in the pot. Planting's done kind of the normal way, just like in the aquarium, where we use our tweezers to put the plants into the soil. And here I'm doing the glosso. I just break it up into little chunks out of the top and place it directly onto the substrate. The roots are kind of too short to be planted in. Now I place the whole thing into a bigger pot full of water, with the water level right at about the same as the level of the inner pot. Everything's all set up and ready to grow. I'm using a GE grow light for fruits and flowers, which is just screwed into a normal lab. I noticed that a lot of the leaves were drying out, so I put this plastic wrap on it to increase the humidity. My plan is to slowly acclimate the plants to the humidity of the ambient. Okay, so here's the Wabi Kusa after 1 week. A lot of melt going on. But there's also some growth, especially with these Ludwigias. Ludwigia arcuata. You can see this patch here is doing really good too. These Cryptocoryne Flamingos look okay. You can see we're actually getting some new leaves. Focus there. Looks like a new leaf to me. Right in the center. Yeah, we have a little bit of melt here. Doesn't look too good. Might want to cut it off. A little bit hard to reach there. I also started using this tray for plants as a cover. It works better because it's tall. Here's week 2 progress. Yeah, the Anubias has continued to melt a little bit, but you can see the Glosso is coming in really strong. It's got kind of a darker green color now too. And the Crypts have some new growth as well. The moldy looking thing is the Boost. I'm afraid it totally melted and probably won't bounce back. Ludwigia arcuata here has also definitely grown in. I think it looks actually a little bit less good now. But you can see here it's grown roots also that kind of hug the side of the pot. Now, how do you think that Ludwigia knows that the pot's there? I also have some other Ludwigia growing up and in the water. After that video, I pulled up one side of the Ludwigia because I thought it's growing so much faster than everything else, and it was kind of getting unbalanced with these 3 different clumps that were very distinct. So I pulled out one of the clumps and I planted it into a new tank, which we'll do on this channel soon. But here you can see the submerged Ludwigia. It's beautiful. Today we're in week 3, and I just want to show you what's happening. There's the Anubias minima. Some of the leaves have brown tips. Actually, it was like that in the tissue culture cup, but it seems to be doing a lot better now that it's planted. It's got tons of new leaves, so we'll hope that it does really well. Behind it, you can see the Microcarpaea minima, which is also just absolutely doing great. And if you look really closely on the right side, you can see a little bit of Microcarpaea, and we also put in some Rotala from the betta tank. Hopefully the species compete against each other to make it look more wild. Now here's a final shot of everything as it looks today. I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy with some of the growth, but there's still definitely a lot of room for improvement. I hope that some of the things catch up in height to the Ludwigia, specifically the Crypts and the Anubias minima. But I have confidence that we will get some more height, along with maybe the Rotala and the Microcarpaea that I added from the betta tank. I really hope that the Anubias can bounce back, and I think it's possible. I saw a few green leaves on there, so I have a feeling that those are important for the plant to actually photosynthesize. The Glosso is sending out lots of runners, you can see, and it looks pretty nice, and actually getting kind of invasive, even with absolutely no tech. So I think I learned something interesting there. I'll keep you updated on everything, and as always, take care.